everyone, this is Vincent with BDF Inspired. And in today's podcast, we actually have Richard Red Alarcon, pro MMA fighter, Jiu Jitsu practitioner, wrestler. And we want to apologize to all of our listeners out there. We haven't came out with any podcasts or uploaded any podcasts for quite some time, about a month now. And so we just want to apologize to every single person. We've been quite busy running multiple businesses and getting things in gear for our new launch. Definitely listen in, buckle in, listen to Red. We'll have his contact information in the show notes. This guy is young, inspirational, and we had a lot of fun actually sitting down with him, interviewing him for the podcast. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the podcast.
And we're here live with Richard A. Alarcon, right? Is that how you say your name?
Richard Alarcon.
Really, Richard Alarcon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Spanish
what's
accent.
Red? What's Red? Richard Red. I saw that.
That's just my my nickname. You know, I grew up. You know, I was like maybe 1 year old. My great grandpa, he was like, "What the heck? We got a white kid, you know, with red hair and freckles. How the hell did that come apart?" So you know, I ended up with Red because I had that red Chucky hair.
Nice. So this is the BDF podcast. We are at a gym right now with the undefeated. I heard he's undefeated.
That's correct. I'm 2-0 as a pro, and then I went amateur. 5-0. So
MMA fighter with Richard Red Alarcon. Sorry about that. And VD here. This is Hero. Just gonna shoot the shit, talk some little things, and see what's behind the scenes of being undefeated right now. All-star in MMA. So your record is 2-0.
correct.
That's professional.
Yeah, it's professional.
How many fights did you have to go through to be a professional, like considered professional MMA mixed martial artist?
I mean, as far as that goes, there's no real number. You can go, 20 and whatever, and you can go, 2-0, just depending on when you get, the sign off and when your coaches feel you're ready.
Okay.
And Red, I know you and I have been training together for quite some time.
Yeah.
And ever since I met you, I've been a huge fan of yours. I mean, I've been to a couple of your MMA fights.
I appreciate it.
I've Seen you compete in jiu-jitsu, but your background goes past that. I mean, you've been doing wrestling and jiu-jitsu since you were a kid.
Yeah, since I was about 7 years old. Funny thing is, usually when people see me, they're like, "Oh, he started, he's a wrestler." The real thing is I actually started out, doing jiu-jitsu. So when I was 7 years old, it was like a new thing. Yeah. We seen it, around the corner from my house, and, it's just like, why not? I started up in soccer, and I just kept getting in fights. So we needed something a little more, contact. So I got into jiu-jitsu, and I picked it up quick. We were already doing tournaments, within a couple months, and I was winning. So, we stayed with that from about 7 to 10. And then I got introduced to wrestling, so I did that. I ended up taking that up from like 10 to, 21 until I finished up Division I wrestling. Obviously I did jiu-jitsu off and on, but not really, as much as wrestling. And then I, after college, I decided to pick it back up and, get into it.
Oh, nice. And you say you did Division I wrestling. Where did you do it at?
I went to the Citadel, which is actually a military college in South Carolina. I got a scholarship there, 50%. So I went there and, I did my 4 years.
Nice. So you got a scholarship. You wrestled in high school too, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Where'd you wrestle at? What high school?
I went to Mayfair High School, which is located here, Lakewood, California.
Those are the tornadoes or
No, monsoons.
The monsoons.
Yeah.
That was close, bro.
Yeah,
that was close.
very close.
That was close. I had a few friends that went there. What year did you graduate?
08.
Oh wait, okay. So you wouldn't know any of my friends. My friend is a little too old for you.
I might have seen a couple. You never know.
Yeah. Gabe went to
Milliken.
Milliken.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Are they like rival schools?
No, I mean that's like the nicer area of Long Beach. Yeah, he was in the safe part.
No, we're Division I. You guys are what division you guys?
Dude, I don't even know. I know for wrestling we were like
Yeah.
all one division pretty much.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Yeah.
We're a different division, so our schools didn't play against each other. We're in a different
Yeah. It was more so
area.
like we'd meet up at tournaments
Yeah.
than anything.
Yeah. But Richard here, I saw you're training, and you're training for a fight, right? That's coming up.
Yeah.
And this guy. It's what is it? Sunday night, 7:00. He's still in the gym. How many times are you in the gym every week?
It's I'm pretty much in there all the time.
Yeah.
It's kind of a struggle to get me out. I'm like a gym rat. If I'm not at the gym, I'm lifting or doing something to stay busy. I'm kind of a busybody. So like, I'd say Monday through Thursday, I'm training with my coaches. Friday, Saturday, I'm kind of doing my own thing, lifting and doing everything else running. And then Sundays, I'm here in the gym with my pops, and then get a lift in before.
So you're here with your pops. He's like your trainer also.
Yeah. I mean, he's been with me since, day one, so.
Of course.
Yeah. So, like, he kind of invested in me. He's watched way more fights than me. He's, studied the game, and he's actually a certified trainer.
Oh, nice.
Just because I'm in the sport.
Yeah.
So, he's really invested in me, to the fullest.
Wow. So your work ethic is it's got to be top notch. You're always in the gym. You're always trying to improve and keep on going to the next level.
Yeah.
Where do you think all this working out? What do you think? What do you want it to go? Like, what do you want to be? Like, what do you want to be after your next fight? Of course.
Obviously, I want to go to the main stage eventually, which is the UFC.
Yeah.
But obviously, I got some work to do. I got to keep winning. I got to, kind of pick up the way I'm finishing these fights. I got to, get finishes, TKOs, submissions, what have you, just to catch that eye. Right now it's kind of hard for me to even find a fight. Every so often when I get one, they kind of pull out. They kind of do a background check and then they pull out. So that's kind of like, it's kind of, it's kind of a struggle. So it's like, I think my last 3 fights that I was supposed to have pulled out. So it's like, it's a little hard.
Pussies.
So, yeah, so pretty much. But I mean, it's like some of the excuses. It's like, man, come on, sick 3 weeks out and you can't fight. It's you just got to take it as it is. That's why when you fight, you got to make it count. Yeah. And you got to win it, in spectacular fashion. That way you kind of get, picked up real soon.
Yeah. So all you guys out there, you heard it here. This guy's Richard. He's looking for a fight.
Yeah, for sure.
He's looking for something that's not going to back down.
Exactly.
And I know a couple of things here from Red. I've seen him train, and he has amazing work ethic. I mean, where did the work ethic come from?
I mean, obviously, the goal for me is to get 1% better every day. Obviously, you're not going to make this big improvement in one day. That's kind of ludicrous. So it's like, you got to kind of take it as, just 1%, get as much work in as you can. For me, it's like, I know if I'm outworking that person, I have a better chance of winning. And one thing about me is, I like to stay ready. So if you're always staying ready when you get that call, it's not like, oh, man, I got to train, I got to lose all this weight. I'm already ready to go, So I'm always waiting for that call. But, I know if I put in the work, I'm going to, have a better chance of beating this guy.
Yeah. And the work ethic, I mean, putting in the work is one thing, but what is the motivation behind the work?
I mean, obviously, you got to have a strong support system. I got my pops, who's here. So that's one of my biggest motivations. It's like, you got someone investing in you. You don't want to let that person down. And you got other people that, you might be an example to. And it's like, hey, don't let anyone see any weakness. You might be, an example for someone who's trying to push through something. So, that's all the motivation I need, to reach people, help them, see, oh, maybe I can do something great, and just pull out the best in themselves.
Do you feel like you're an inspiration to a lot of kids getting into MMA or people that are struggling in life?
I mean, I would hope so. One of the biggest things for me is, ATTC, which is all things through Christ. Also, I'm just, trying to work hard and just kind of, show people, what, hard work does pay off. For most people, they got all this talent and, they can kind of slack off and do this and that. But, for most, it's like it's a struggle. So it's like you may not be a fighter, you may not do this, you may just be an average Joe. But, I mean, if you put in a lot of hard work, you're going to get somewhere eventually. It might take a little bit of time, but you're going to get somewhere.
Okay, and I know that you and your dad have ATTC.
Yeah.
And then you guys also have a fan page or like a group, right, on Facebook
called
WFC.
Yeah.
What's WFC?
Yeah, that's Warriors for Christ. We're just trying to, spread the word, just showing what you can do, with Christ behind you, So, that's like the main reason why I'm doing all this, just to reach people. Even if I don't get anywhere, if I could just reach that one person, it'd all be worth it.
Nice. And that I know we were talking. We actually know a lot of motivational speakers. We know a lot of successful business owners and entrepreneurs, and they're trying to reach out in the community just like you are, and just trying to help people get inspired.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. You're using martial arts to inspire people to reach something else.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. And you're talking about work ethic, and with work ethic comes with a lot of sacrifice. To achieve anything, there's some sacrifice, right? So, what have you sacrificed?
I mean, you're sacrificing right now on a Sunday night.
Oh, yeah.
Working or training hard, working out. You could be out there with boatload of women.
Yeah, there is a lot of sacrifice, I've, since I'd say middle school, I haven't been that person that goes out and hangs with friends on the weekends or gets to go to parties or, even, in college or even after college, now that I'm working and everything, it's like I don't get to go out on vacations or I don't get to go to Vegas on the weekends. I don't get to really go out when I'm cutting weight. So it's like you miss out on a lot of stuff. But like I said, if I could just, reach that one person, it's all worth it. But, yeah, there is a lot of sacrifice, a lot of time. It's hard at times. It's like you kind of wonder sometimes why you're doing it. And then you look back and you see, what got you started in the first place and your motivation. That's why it's good to have, a great support system because without it, it's a struggle. You cannot do it alone.
And your support system, I know your dad's your support system.
Yeah.
I know your mom is your support system. I see them at the fights. I mean, they're there with you 100%.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who else is in that support system with you?
I mean, obviously, all my coaches that invest in me, my teammates that, are training partners for me, just anyone that kind of, like, helps me out, just to keep me motivated. Hey, Rich, what's up, man? Doing good? Just the littlest things, you just kind of spark something when you're feeling down. So it's like you'll be cutting weight, and it's like, man, I'm dying. I just want to get something to drink or something. You just like your motivation level sucks. Like, to be honest, when you're cutting weight, it's like the motivation sucks. You're like pushing through. You got to have people like force you to do stuff. So it's a little hard at times, but I mean, it's worth it.
So as a fighter, what's your mindset like before a fight? What are you thinking about? Like, what's going through your head?
Obviously to stick to the game plan, stick to my strong suit, obviously submission, wrestling, grappling. I'm starting to get my hands, my kicks together really good. So, just to be able to threaten with that and, being that I like to take a lot of shots and I'm good at defending shots, I'm, able to throw those kicks. So I'm starting to think about that before all my fights. Hey, I could throw this kick and, he can try to take me down, but he's probably not going to. So it's, it's worth that risk. And I know I can hold my own on the ground. So it's like, obviously, before a fight, when I'm out there, I'm not like your ordinary person where you get nervous. I actually just, like, am pretty calm. But, sometimes, obviously, walking to the stage, you start hearing all the people roaring and cheering. It's like, all of a sudden, like, it's not so much nerves. It's more so like you almost black out. It's like a blackout experience. And then you start getting that feeling, and it's like, if you don't know how to trigger it to wake yourself up, you're done before you even get in there. So it's like sometimes I'll be going through it, and then I'll stop. Take a couple deep breaths, and I'll be like, dude, wake the hell up. Wake up. Train too hard for this. And, go out there and do my thing. So, like, you got to have that trigger. Some people have that game time to where it's like when they're out there, they're on. But, like, you could be a practice person and just suck out there just because of the nerves. So it's like that's something that you really got to, master.
So it's like your mindset. Your mindset has to be right. You have to have you have to be trained in the body, but also trained in the mind.
Oh, for sure. I'd say most people lose due to the mindset, just because the nerves hit you and it's like, man, like that first time you step in that cage or the first time you make it to the big show, it's like, dude, I'm here. And so you see all the people and you kind of get like, you're a little in shock. So it's like, you got to be able to switch it. Otherwise, you're done before you walk in.
How about wearing a blinder or a mask so you then wake up in the octagon like, oh, I'm just gonna fight this guy,
Coach, carry me.
carry me.
Oh man,
Just put me in the ring.
That'd be a hell of an entrance.
like the bronze bomber, you know who the bronze bomber?
Oh yeah.
The boxing. He has a mask when he walks in. I'm like, dude, that's different.
Yeah,
he
man.
can't, so he can't see or what?
No, he just have like
Yeah.
a mask on.
It feels like you're not there. You know, like it's
Like blinders.
Yeah.
Like blinders. Yeah. So it's like you don't see the crowd. You're not paying. If you can't see it, you're not paying attention to it.
Exactly. But yeah, man, those nerves will get you. They'll destroy you real quick. That's why it's like you got to have a good coach too that'll kind of slap the shit out of you.
Wake up.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I can't imagine how I must feel with all that pressure and all the people yelling your name or not even yelling. Have you ever been to a fight where people are like you're the bad guy? You're the guy that other guy had more fans.
Yeah, I'd say my first pro fight. You know,
Yeah.
I'm walking into the cage, right, and then like I said, I'm starting to get the kind of that weird feeling because this is like my first fight. You know, as a pro. It's like you don't want to be that guy that's 0-1.
Yeah.
So I'm already feeling the pressure. You know, it's like, oh man. And then I was like, nah, wake the hell up. So I woke up. I got in there. You know, I had some good amount of fans. But, you know, obviously when he came out, you just hear everyone just, whoa. So it was like, dang, that's a lot of people. So it's just like, you know, I gotta shut this guy up because he was pretty cocky when he walked out. You know, I just, stayed calm or whatever. But he was kind of, being a little cocky, about fighting me, thinking I was just, a pushover. And then I got that, that you're naked choke in that first round. And, that was like everyone was yelling all of a sudden.
Was it the Bama one?
Yeah, it was the Bama one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, his whole crowd went silent. And it was just like crickets. And then all my people would just start yelling. So it was legit.
A small corner.
Yeah, it was legit. It was a good feeling, though. Like that first win, it's like, that's a relief because you kind of got it off your chest. That's one less worry. It's like you don't, like I said, you don't want to be that guy that's 0-1.
In your first major.
Yeah.
And dude, rolling with Red Gabe he is tough, man. I mean, like, of course he always taps me out. It's normal. And but every time he tapped me out, I'm like, dude, I learned something because he's not only a fighter. He's not only a person that inspires others. He's also a teacher too. He taught me a lot of things in jiu-jitsu that I still use today. I still use a lot of things like north-south.
Oh, yeah, you're getting good at that.
Going into the armbar. And just little things, just dropping your hips down a little bit more. And he taught me a lot. So he's also a teacher, man. A student and a teacher of the game. I know your dad plays a big part, like you were saying, your inspiration and motivation. What has he taught you over the years?
Over the years, he's the one that actually taught me my work ethic. He's always taught me, hey, you got to train hard to get what you want. He's never been that guy that just kind of like gave me a handout. Everything that I've ever had, I've always had to work for. That's one thing I'm very blessed that, he allowed me with. He could have just been a guy that just gave me, what I wanted, what I needed. But instead, he made me work for everything. Not one thing was given to me just, for free. So that was, one thing that he really taught me was that work ethic. And, that kind of shot me up right off the bat because, I'm already beating, all the people that didn't have it.
Yep. That's great. And I know your dad has a successful business too.
Oh, yeah.
What's his business? What is
he has he pretty much has like a niche site, type system as far as, gates. So we do all residential. He has his business, and he just kind of got me started in my own business.
Oh, what do you have?
Same exact thing, except, I'm kind of taking over as far as that system, and he's doing more so the fences and, some other stuff. He's got a powder coating business that he's about to start up soon.
Nice.
So I'm pretty much taking reins over, as far as, owning the gate business.
What's the gate business called?
Mine's is Frame a Gate.
Frame a Gate. Shouts out to Frame a Gate.
Yep, and that's here in
Check 'em
Lakewood,
out.
Long Beach. Like I said, it's a niche system. So it's like our gates are one of a kind. When you see them, they're like, dang.
How can people find Fermigate?
I mean, on Yelp, you go on Yelp and you look us up, or you even look at our website, frameagate.com, and it's just like the website's legit. My dad actually made the website, so it's
Can you
amazing.
spell it out?
Yeah, it's FRAME, the letter A, gate.com. All
Alright.
one word.
I'll make
He
sure.
said he's opened up a powder coating business too.
Yeah, he'll be starting that up soon, probably in the next couple months. But he's already got the shop. He's got all the parts. So that's the thing. Another thing that my dad taught me as far as business is to kind of not put your chips into one basket. Constantly
Nice.
keep evolving and adapting. Because you stay on one thing, eventually there's a lot of people in that market. So if you keep branching out and spreading out into the new things and staying, current and everything, you'll always be successful because you'll always be in that, that one little 10% that, is the only people that knows how to properly do something.
Nice, because that's huge. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
huge nugget
Yeah.
right there.
He's an entrepreneur.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. He
Yeah.
started up a couple businesses, He's actually taught me more than I learned in college about business.
Oh wow,
Oh, yeah.
that's amazing. So
Well, you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I
Yeah.
was saying. He's an entrepreneur.
Oh, yeah.
You are an entrepreneur. Yeah. And like fighting, this has to be like an entrepreneur also. I mean, you're investing time in yourself.
Oh, yeah.
To get better, to take yourself to the next step. Just like in business,
Yeah.
invest time in your company.
Yeah.
Your company being Famigate, in fighting, your company being you, because
Yeah.
you're the
brand.
you're the brand.
Correct. That's
Yeah.
why we started up with T-shirts and everything, our own little logos.
How do we find those? How do we find your? How do we sport Red?
Just go ahead and hit me up on Facebook, Richard Red Alarcon. Just send me a message. Hey, Red, I want to sport one of your shirts. Just send me the address and I'll send you one.
Awesome.
Nice.
I'll make sure I put the Fermigate on the show notes as well as Richard Red's Facebook as well. So whoever's listening, you can go in the show notes and click on it, and I'll go ahead and lead you to Red's page as well as his business. Check it out. There's a lot of cool things. I just purchased a house, so I was looking at changing the gate. So in time, we'll
There
talk.
we go.
Yeah, because your fence needs some work.
It
It does. It does.
It
It's
does.
like a wooden fence, but then everything's like bold. Like,
Oh,
the wood is like,
man,
woo.
yeah.
But you guys do like fencing.
Yeah, we can do vinyl fencing. That's something that we like to recommend more so than wood, just because it's like
Yeah.
there's no maintenance.
Yeah, these things are totally warped,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Like a dog could fit through. Like it's like that.
Oh man,
It's
dude.
like an S shape.
It's like an
Oh,
S shape.
Man, he's buckling bad.
Like a big old 50-pound dog could fit through it. That's how S shape it is.
Yeah, hey, but that's part of getting a new house though. Little bits at a time. It's probably gonna take you 20 years to do everything, but eventually you'll get it done.
A little bit at a time. I see you're wearing one of your shirts right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, describe that. What is it? Hands with a
yeah. It's
rosary?
Actually, it's like a rosary. It's Christ's hands with the rosary in it, and it says Richard Red Alarcon, and then obviously my team. It's more so my next fight shirt.
Okay.
It's Team Oyama Lotus Club.
Nice.
But yeah, that like I said, we're pretty much repping the all things through Christ, and you
Yeah.
can see the Christ hands
Yeah.
with the rosary.
Yeah, I think that's very important. Were you
Oh, yeah.
were you raised religious?
Yeah,
Like your
I mean,
father? and
that's the one thing my pops always told me was one of his main rules. Always go to church.
yeah.
Every Sunday, you better be ready to go to church. No
Yeah.
exceptions. You'll see me, have a fight, and the next day I'm going to church. You'll see me
Yeah.
have like a tournament Sunday, and I'll be going to church right before the tournament. So that's always been a thing for me, and I plan to continue that.
Nice.
It's good habits. Number one. Number two is important because
Oh,
if
yeah.
you invest all your time throughout the week and everything else you do, an hour to an hour and a half of Christ time is not a big deal.
Oh no, definitely not. That kind of helps me out. It's almost like a therapy for me.
Yeah.
It's like I go there, I got all these problems, and I'll be there. I'm just, already free. Come out, and I feel like a new guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
need that. So, for me, that is therapeutic for me. So with that, I go into my week feeling solid, ready to go.
Good.
Nice.
And besides your dad, who else has been an inspiration in your life?
Obviously, my entire family, because they pretty much invest in me. My mom, she's had to put up with my stuff, growing up. And, she actually used to help me with my meals and everything. But she's there every time I'm fighting and, competing. She's there cheering for me. My sister's always there to help me out, back my play. Like I said, all my coaches, my sponsors, everybody that's, had a hand, in helping me, get ready for all these fights and tournaments.
And you might have a next fight coming up in February.
Yeah, February 20th. Most likely going to be with Bama.
Okay.
Once again, so it'll be my third pro fight. I kind of already know who the guy is. Funny thing about that is I actually just seen the guy. I went to Calvary Chapel to go get a wrestling session in. And sure enough, there he was. And I was like, dude, that's my opponent. It's not like I was going to go in and just go out. I went in there, I wrestled and, did all the drilling and everything. Obviously, we were on opposite sides. He didn't want to come anywhere near me. But
Don't want to expose each
yeah,
other's game.
pretty much. And
Is he a wrestler too?
no, he's more so boxing, striking. He might have a little bit of wrestling background.
Okay.
But let me see.
So you're wrestling at Calvary Chapel, like the school,
Yeah,
the high school,
The high school,
right there in Whittier, or
it's
that
in
six- was
was
that
it
605?
Santa Ana, I think.
oh, okay.
Oh, okay, the
Yeah,
one
the
that's
one
off
over there,
of
yeah.
Santa Ana.
Fairview or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
it, yeah.
So there's like a wrestling gym there, I
Yeah.
guess. Oh,
So
nice.
go to the high school. They have adult people, MMA fighters. They
Dos
actually have Dos Anjos. There's a lot of MMA guys that
Oh,
go
wow.
there to wrestle.
Wow. Is it
uh,
because of the facility, or is it because there's a coaching
No,
staff
just the
there?
coaching staff. They
Oh.
got their stuff down. Like
The
they're
high school
solid.
coaching staff there?
Yeah. Like
Really?
there's a guy that runs it. He's just got this whole wrestling system that goes. It's relative
Yeah.
to MMA. So there's a lot of people that go there for that, and obviously word of mouth. It got bigger and bigger.
Wow.
That's
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
but it was funny though because I went over there and I was drilling and everything, and we were about to go live, and I was game to go with this guy. I was gonna go and do my thing, and then my pops was like, "Hey, let's go," and I was like, "Nah, I'm good, pops." He's like, "Nah, we don't want to give this guy any hope," so he just bounced. But for me, I'm always game, so it's like it's whatever to me.
Nice. Did anybody else know at the gym that you're set to fight this guy?
No.
No.
I didn't say nothing, but I knew a lot of people that were at the gym. I just kept my mouth shut and just I'll see them, February 20th.
Nice.
Absolutely. Where's the fight gonna be at?
I think it's gonna be in Orange. The venue's not set yet, but most likely gonna be in Orange.
For local.
So it's gonna be local for a lot, close to my gym. So hopefully a lot of people can make it out.
And if he does fight, if it does happen,
Yeah.
where can people purchase the tickets?
I mean, you can, like I said, you can hit me up on Facebook. Just hit me up. Hey, let me get some tickets. You can hit me up on Instagram, or you can hit me or whatever up, just wherever you can get a hold of me.
Okay, great.
What do
I'll
you
make sure to show notes.
attribute some of your success in MMA? Is it because of the wrestling background? Or is it everything intermixed?
I think it was my ability to mix my wrestling with my jiu-jitsu. That was my biggest thing, because you can be a wrestler and just you see them all day long. They're good at taking people down, but they suck at defending chokes. That was a lot of the wrestlers' biggest weakness, was leaving their neck open. And a lot of jiu-jitsu guys, they didn't know how to handle the pressure from wrestlers. So it's like the ability to bring that pressure, but at the same time know setups and know how to choke people out and know how to mix my wrestling with my jiu-jitsu. I kind of developed my own game, one that a lot of people didn't know anything about. So that's kind of like where I kind of fit in.
I mean, Red's jiu-jitsu and wrestling game is one of the best, because I know there was some sub-only competition, like Dream Jiu-Jitsu, sub-only, no points, it's only submission only. You won it twice?
I just won it once. Yeah.
Okay. Won it once, and then he was also then invited to EBI, which is, if you guys don't know what it is Eddie Bravo
Invitational.
Invitational.
Yeah.
And that's a huge stage.
Yeah.
That's a huge stage. A lot of people.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I was like the only purple belt, amongst all the black belts.
Yeah.
How'd you do there?
I made it to the semis, and I lost to the champ, a couple minutes before time was expired.
Yeah.
Obviously caught me in some kind of move. I didn't know what the hell it was. But it was, obviously it was a black belt move. But I mean, it's like it was an eye-opener, because that just opened me up to this whole nother game. So obviously, I got to stay current. After that happened, I didn't get caught in that no more. So
How did it feel beating all those black belts?
it was good, man. It was a great feeling.
What did they look at you different? Like, oh my God, who's this guy?
I mean, yeah, they looked at me different because I was a little guy. I was like 130 pounds.
Did Eddie Bravo look at you like? who the hell
Yeah,
are you?
he was kind of impressed after I went against one of his guys,
Yeah.
because his guy was the one that won it, and he's been on a tear, winning all these
Yeah.
major tournaments. So
Yeah.
it was a good win for me.
He's in Abu Dhabi and
Yeah, he won all that.
top.
Wow. Yeah, Eddie Bravo. That's a big tournament. I hear
Yeah.
about it all the time.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people. I'm waiting for them to do a 125 pound. I'll
Okay.
make that all day long.
So what were you fighting? What were you fighting there? The Invitational.
135.
135.
Yeah. So obviously the guys are a little bit bigger than me, but you
Yeah.
know, that's part of the game.
You had to put on weight for that, or
No, I'm pretty much weighed 130. You know,
Okay.
people were cutting down from like probably 160, 150
Yeah.
to get down.
so
to
you
it.
just
it's
you
like,
just walked in there and you're walking weight, your regular
Yeah.
walk weight. Yeah,
pretty much, yeah.
that's cool.
And I know you do a lot of strength and condition on top of your jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
and wrestling and striking. How often do you do strength and conditioning?
I love doing strength conditioning. You know, myself, I love lifting in general. Just you know, it's I look at it more so like something I do for fun than a job. You know, so it's like I'll do it with my pops Monday and Wednesday, and I'll shoot over to Innovative Results, which is located in Costa Mesa. It's a great gym and facility. You know, the guys there just know their stuff. But I go there Tuesday and Thursday, and then obviously Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I do my own thing.
Okay.
Nice.
And can you tell the people that are listening to this podcast, I mean, what are some things that you can share with them that you have taken from your dad, from your coaches, and implement in your life to be where you're at right now?
Obviously, for sure, the work ethic. Nothing, you know, I don't care what anyone says, work ethic's going to get you somewhere. You know, as you know, how much you put into it, you know, that's what you're going to get out of it. You know, you can slack off, but eventually it's going to catch up with you. You know, the holes always show. So, you know, you can get by for a little bit, you know, with, you know, a certain work ethic, but eventually you're going to have to pick it up. You know, obviously that, you know, sacrifice, you got to be willing to sacrifice something, you know.
Yeah.
If you think that you're going to get somewhere, you know, major and not have to sacrifice, you're full of crap. So you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit. So.
Yep. Okay. And, you know, one thing that I've, you know, I experience, you know, when I compete is a lot of nerves. But you were talking about getting that out of your system.
Yeah.
I get nervous. I get tensed up.
I
mean, like,
I'm sweaty palms.
I get sweaty palms. I'm sweating before I'm even on the mat.
Yeah.
I mean, you say you have to check back in.
Yeah.
And get out your mindset out of it. But I mean, how do you do it? How do you check back in? Like, because you say like if you don't, you automatically lost.
Yeah. So pretty much as far as that goes, I mean, you got to kind of learn it yourself. I mean, obviously you can do your breathing. You know, you got to control your breathing for one. You get that heart rate down because as soon as you start getting nervous, you literally feel like your heart's pounding the hell out of you. And you start sweating. It's like you got to control your breathing for one. Two, you got to be confident. You know, obviously confident in, you know, how hard you worked. That's why, like I said, it comes down to, you know, work ethic. You know, if you feel confident and you know how much work you put in, it's like, why get nervous? You're going to go out there and do your thing. You know, as long as you go out there, you do your best, you know, what more can you do? You know, you gave it your best shot. So, you know, for one, control that breathing. You might have to do a little bit of practicing on, you know, on your own. Just get used to being in those pressured situations. Yeah. You know, lucky for me, my pops, when I was growing up, he put me in a lot of those pressure situations. So I kind of now I kind of love the pressure.
What type of pressure situations did your dad put you in?
You know, like having to do tasks in a certain amount of time, you know, having to get, you know, unbelievable things done, you know, and you just feel it. It's like, man, I got to get this done in a certain amount of time. I got to meet this deadline. And then obviously, you know, the whole Citadel thing, you kind of got used to, you know, pressure situations because that first year you're there, you know, that you're what they call a knob.
Mm-hmm.
And that's,
what does that mean?
A knob is pretty much, you know, a freshman. You know, someone that has no rights there. You pretty much got to do all this, like, crazy stuff. You get, like, hazed and all that. But, yeah, so you're used to all those pressure situations. And it's like, you know, if you're used to it and you kind of, like, start liking it. And then it kind of helps bring out the best in you. You know, a lot of people say that they like those, you know, those high-pressure situations because they feel rushed. They feel the rush, and, you know, it kind of helps them.
Yeah. And with all the rush, with the pressure, I mean, and you say you like it, right?
Oh, yeah. It helps.
Mean, what do you like most about it?
I think it is the rush. You know, the fact that it's like, oh man, I gotta get all this done. You know, you can't BS around. So it's like you have no time to mess around. You know, you gotta go, go, go. So you know, obviously, you gotta keep that going.
It's like an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
It's like people are addicted to things.
Yeah.
Right. This happens to be something you're.
Yeah.
A good addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, like I always call it get her done juice. You know, you gotta get it done.
Get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a little personal question here.
Yeah.
For all the ladies out there, man. So what's going on in your love life? You single?
Yeah.
Taken?
Yeah, I'm single right now. You know, obviously, you know, you don't really have a lot of time for girls. You know, you do like short little relationships here and there. You know, that's
Yeah.
It is what it is. You know, it's like the schedule, the time. It's like girls kind of they're a little needy. So
Yeah.
you got to be willing to put in the time. And it's like, hey, I don't have the time. You know, I got all these priorities. I got to go work out. I got to train. I got to work. It's like I really have no downtime. It's like, you know, I work full time from 6 to 3.
Wow.
And then after that, I'm going straight to working out or practicing from about 5 till maybe 9.
Wow.
It's like by the time, you know, I'm tired.
So are you in the office all day, or are you
I'm
actually putting up
I'm
fences?
in the field.
You're in the,
I'm in the
okay.
field. You know, I'm actually the salesman.
Oh,
So,
nice.
like I'm running everything, making sure everything's getting done. I'm doing all the sales. I'm scheduling all these jobs. You know, there's a lot to be done. It's like I have 5 jobs in one. So it's like just that alone mentally like wears me out a little bit. And then I got to go wear my body out physically, you know, getting punched in the head and, you know, grappling and everything. So it's like it's a full slate right there.
All right, cool. So what you're saying is there's a lunch window.
Oh yeah, pretty much. There's a lunch window and there's a dinner window. You know,
because you gotta eat.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, like I said, that's kind of why I'm only training, you know, Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
You know, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sunday, obviously I have free time. But it's like, you know, when they call, they call.
Yeah.
And you know, do you like for inspiration? What drives you? What's your motivation? Like, what do you do for motivation? Because everyone has to do something for motivation. Like with me, I look at right now. I look at my child's picture. It's just a little peanut. But
Yeah.
that's what I do when I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
I look at the picture and I'm like, okay, that's my motivation. That's what it's gonna drive me. It's gonna push me to go out and work my butt off day in, day out, and figure things out. What I need to figure out, do what I need to do to make shit happen.
Oh yeah.
So what drives Red to be on the main stage?
Okay, so real quick, I want to congratulate Vin on his the kid coming soon.
Oh, thanks.
Little peanut.
He has
Yeah, man.
2.
Oh.
Right, a month or 2 before me.
Ooh, so that's some motivation for you guys.
Yeah, man.
There we go. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have that yet, but for right
Fortunately,
now.
just
Yeah.
stay like that.
Yeah, there we
You're
go.
good. You're good. No rush, bro.
Yeah,
no rush.
No rush here.
Well, how old are you, Red?
I'm only 25.
He's 25.
No rush at all.
Yeah, no rush at all.
I'm turning 34.
Oh,
in a
yeah.
few months.
Oh, so that's perfect
Yeah.
timing. You had all your fun already.
Yeah.
Have your fun.
Yeah,
Live
for
it
sure.
up.
But yeah, for me, my motivation, as far as work goes, what drives me is, I got all these, people depending on me to sell all these jobs and everything. So it's like there's about six or 7 workers on our staff. So it's like, hey, I got to sell these jobs. I kind of got 7 families depending on me. So it's not just my family, but, it's 7 different families. So it's like that's all the motivation you need because there's kids involved.
Yeah.
As far as, fighting, the thing that keeps me motivated, obviously you look at my shirt and that's all the motivation I need. It's like I'll be down and out. It's like I'll look up and I'll be like, Lord, help me out. I'm tired. And obviously that's all the motivation I need right there. It's like obviously I got my pops to motivate me. Just those 2 things alone, it's like, hey, that's all I need.
I see that your dad is it's teaching you a lot of things about leaving a good legacy behind.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people don't see it, but from day one, at Team Oyama, when we're rolling on the mats, I see your dad just there looking through the little gate. If it's raining, he's inside looking through the glass.
Yeah.
And he's always there watching, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of parents don't invest that time.
No.
So he's investing time in you. He's leaving a legacy to you. Whether, a lot of kids will just be rebellious, but you're accepting it.
Yeah.
And you're taking it and you're moving forward with it. He taught you entrepreneurship. He taught you leadership, because now you're the example for that 6-7 families on your staff, right?
Yeah.
Because you're out in the field, you're working your butt off. You're just like, hey, look, these family needs, it's the 6-7 families on your staff needs you to go out there and make things happen in order for them to put bread on the table for their family.
Yep.
So that's huge. That's huge. Like, if anyone listening to this podcast right now and you're saying, well, you know what, I can't do this. I don't know if I can go out there and be like Red. I don't think I'll be a great fighter. But it's not about fighting. Fighting is about, it's everything in life, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, a lot of people struggle and say, hey, look, I want to go out there and just, I don't know if I can do what he's doing. I don't know if I can, create a business. I mean, what would you tell him?
I mean, obviously, you got to start small. Start small, but dream big. You know what I mean? You can't go and conquer the world in one day. It's obviously going to take some hard work, some time. But, I mean, eventually you can get there depending on your work ethic. That's why I'm always working hard. So if anyone's watching, it's like, hey, I got where I'm at just because how hard I work. So, like I said, just start small. You don't have to conquer the world in one day. But, I mean, you can work up to it,
Were you good at wrestling, or were you good at jiu-jitsu when you first started?
Yeah, I was actually pretty good. I was pretty reckless, and I was just like, obviously I got into this mindset to where it's like, I gotta tap this dude out. For me, when I'm in there, it's like him or me. I almost look at it to kind of like a life or death situation. For some reason, when I'm in there, I feel like the dude's trying to kill me,
Yeah.
and I got to get him first. You know what I mean? So it's it's a dog eat dog world in there.
How about, were you good at sales when you first started?
I was good with people right off the bat. Like, I could BS, talk and, do whatever. You gotta have a little personality. But, I mean, obviously, I didn't really know too much about the product, like, as to, the whole build of it. But luckily I had my pops there who was leading by example. And, you kind of pick up off of, the charisma. And you pick up certain things, and you learn how to be comfortable with certain people, because every person for us is a different personality.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you got to learn how to be this way with this personality, this way with this personality. So it's like
Got to wear different hats.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of hats to wear because there's a lot of different people, and a lot of different personalities. So it's like, eventually after a couple months, about to a year, I felt comfortable enough to kind of go on my own.
Yeah.
So that's when I started doing my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going out there selling all the jobs. And, I was actually selling more than, what we started. And, I've been selling for the last 3 years, and our sales keep going up and up and up.
Because you got better.
Oh, yeah.
And it takes time.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, you can't conquer the world in one day.
Nope.
And you can't learn all the skills and techniques that you learned in one day.
Nope.
I mean, I remember as a white belt coming into Team Oyama and walking onto the mats. And I was intimidated. I was telling Marie, I was like, dude, I was intimidated. Like, dude, it was an intimidating atmosphere. Like, walking in.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, okay.
It's brutal.
So I just want to try it out to see if I would like it.
Yeah.
And when I first started, dude, I suck. I still suck, but I'm better than I was when I first started. Yeah. And so that's what a lot of people need to know. Like, hey, you can be good. You can be successful. It just takes time. You just got to do it every single day.
Yeah, I mean, you ask anybody that's good at anything, it's like, hey, how long did it take you to get to where you're at? How long did it take you to get this good? I tell you, it took a lot of hours and sacrifice. You sacrifice a lot to get good. You have to.
How many hours did you think you put into wrestling?
I'd probably say 4 hours a day.
And
A day.
Yeah.
A day. So how many times would you train a week before?
I would actually train 6 days a week.
6 times 4. Let me write this down. 6 times 4.
24.
That's 24. And when you started wrestling, 10 years old?
Yeah.
Until what age?
21.
21. So that's 11 years. Right? So let's do the math. So this 4. And this is a week. So 24 hours a week times what? You would say
264, I think.
24 times 52 weeks out of the year. Would you say? Right, 24 hours a week times 52 weeks. I can't do the math. I'm getting because a lot of people think it happens overnight, right?
Yeah.
Most people think it happens overnight. A lot of people don't know the backstory.
No,
there's always a story
There's
behind
always
the story.
a story. With every
Yeah.
person, there's a story, and it's
Yeah.
like, you never know what you're gonna run into with
Yeah.
someone's story. So it's like, when it comes to judging people, it's you don't judge anyone because they got a story. You know what I mean? That's why, like, for me, it's like, just motivate somebody. Why are you trying to put someone down? Just motivate them. You know what I mean?
So you invested about 13,728 hours
Wow.
Yeah.
to master his craft in wrestling, and I'm sure you're gonna be humble enough to say I haven't mastered my craft yet.
Oh no, definitely not.
Wow.
There's so much I still have to learn. Maybe with that I got pretty mediocre. Obviously I could stand toe to toe and with takedowns with just about anybody.
Yeah.
But I mean there's a lot involved in wrestling, and that involves jiu-jitsu as well and MMA. There's just so much to constantly learn. There's people in jiu-jitsu that have been training the art for over 30 years and they're still learning.
Yeah.
So it's like it takes a long time.
So all the people that want to say, I wish I was like Red, or I wish I was like, name another big artist, Eddie Bravo, and stuff like that. I wish I was like all these big guys. Do you really wish that? Because there's so many hours in the gym that people don't see. Do you really want to invest your time in the gym, working hard every day, 4 hours a week? Do you really want that? Because if you knew what it takes to be a champ, would you really want to say I really want to be like that guy?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't see the back end behind the story. A lot of people just look at the end result.
Yeah. I mean, there's not just that, but there's a lot physically that you go through to get there. Obviously, 13,000 hours. There's a lot of injuries involved in between there.
Yeah.
So obviously most fighters, they tell you right off the bat, they're not always 100% going into a fight. They're probably like 70%. There's always some injury. I've never once went into a fight 100%. There was always some kind of injury. Obviously some people want to complain about it if they lost, but it's like, hey, no one's 100%. So it's like you got to kind of prep as best as possible to stay 100%, but it's not going to happen.
Does Sage Northcutt inspire you?
I've seen him fight. Dude's legit. Obviously he's proven himself. I can't wait to see him put up against a top 10 guy. But I mean, for right now, he's kind of promoting his karate and everything. There's a whole new game out there. With karate getting back involved with the right people doing it. It was made fun of. Obviously in MMA because the wrong people were doing karate, trying to do all these dumb kicks and everything. It's like, but when you really see how many of the UFC champs were actually in karate, I can name so many. GSP, Anderson Silva, right off the bat are, two that come to mind. But there's McGregor, he's in karate. There's a lot of people that were doing karate. That's why you see the kicks being used.
Yep.
So it's like for the people that are making fun of karate, don't, because you might get laid out by one of those kicks someday.
Did you practice karate or?
No, I didn't. But, I'm obviously trying to learn some of the kicks because, with these long legs, I might as well use it. I'm one of the tallest people in the weight class, so it's like, why not use it? Plus, I have a good shot defense, so it's like, might as well use it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And where can people find you at, Red?
You can always find me at Team Oyama, over there in Irvine, California. You can find me in ONE Jiu Jitsu, Irvine. Or you can always come out here in Lakewood. Just hit me up on a Sunday. Hey, Red, you training?
Just hit him up on Facebook.
Yeah, just hit me up.
And you have an Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram, Red Alarcon.
Any other social media feeds?
Twitter, the same thing, Red Alarcon. I'm just Red Alarcon everywhere.
Awesome, man.
That's it.
That's it, man. Thanks for doing this with us, man.
Not a problem. I appreciate you being on here.
We want to share your story to the world, and one day when you're big in the UFC, you give us another shot at another podcast.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. You guys are the first one, so it's like, got to.
Yeah, man.
Before we finish, I told Romero, one of my good friends, he went with me to watch you at EBI.
Yeah.
And I told my wife when we were sitting there at Bama, I'm like, hey, Red's gonna go to UFC. Watch. I don't doubt it. Like I see Red in the UFC within the next 3 years, and that was last year when we saw you at
Yeah.
Bama. So you have 2 more years to go.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's my plan. 2 years. I tell everybody, 30 is kind of my limit because my body's kind of getting, a little banged up. So it's
Yeah.
like 30 is about my limit. So I plan on being, getting there within the next 2 years, and then obviously fighting in there for a couple of years. But obviously I plan on doing jiu-jitsu tournaments afterward. But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, and before we end the podcast, I want to ask you one last question. Now you're saying 30 is going to be your limit. So you get to the UFC, 30 is your limit. You plan to be a UFC champ.
That's the goal. That's the big goal. That's why for me, I'm constantly evolving. If you stay stagnant, every year, there's always people every year that's going to get better and better and adapt to the newer style. There's a whole new age coming past me, so I got to constantly evolve and stay ready. You know what I mean? That's why physically, mentally, emotionally, all that, I'm always trying to be at my top game, constantly learning. You got to stay humble. There's a lot that, these coaches have to offer. And if you just shut the hell up and listen and do what they tell you, you might learn something.
Absolutely.
That's a nugget right there. Shut the hell up, listen, and actually do what they tell you.
Yeah.
All right, Red. I appreciate you being on the podcast. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're busy. You need some rest. You got to wake up early. I know you want to watch the UFC fights tonight with Cruz and Dillashaw. Wait, before we go, so who are you going for tonight? Dillashaw
I gotta
or
go
Cruz?
Cruz, man.
Okay.
I'm loyal to Cruz. That dude's just like, he's had so much bad luck over the years, but it's like you cannot knock, his style. His style is so indifferent, the way he moves and picks people apart. It's just like, it's going to be a good fight.
Yes.
Either someone's getting knocked out or it's going to be a grinder and it's going to go all the way. But I don't see it going all the way, but I got to go with my man Cruz.
All right. Pettis and Alvarez?
That's going to be a tough fight too, but I think Pettis is going to take that one because I know that, Alvarez is going to come in, try to bulldoze and bang. And just Pettis, he's so elusive and likes to stay open and uses, karate. So, I mean,
Another guy.
we're going to see that.
All right, cool. Gabe, anything else?
Man, I'm excited for you, bro. I can't wait to see you on the big stage. We'll be rooting there your whole path.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And thanks for doing this. We're excited for you. We're gonna put this all on. It's gonna be on Facebook. It's gonna be on Instagram, YouTube, all those social media outlets out there. And yeah, man, I'm excited. This podcast was brought to you by Bring the Fire, and that's Bring the Fire, with spelled with the D-A. This is Hero and Vincent signing out.
With Red.
With Red. Shouts out to Red. Stay on the lookout to see this guy on the main stage.
All right. Good night, folks.
Night, folks. Later.